Good morning to everyone. Today we are going to discuss a small topic, right? That is classification of elements. Before we have to take a knowledge about this classification of elements, first we have to take a few examples what we observed in our daily life and in our surroundings. That is, I taken or else from your knowledge I am taking few examples. That is, if you take cloth showroom, right, means shopping malls and supermarkets and vegetable markets and jewelry shop, like that if you take, in that every material is arranged in a specified location or specified place, because easy to recognize. If you take a jewelry shop, we have different apparels, right, and material, gold material, that easy to identify when you place in separate racks, right. If rings and bracelets and chains all should be placed at one particular rack, it is difficult to select, it is difficult to observe. Same thing in medical shop. If all tablets you place in a particular box, it is difficult to identify. But if you arrange it in specified racks, easy to put, means easy to get and easy to identify, right? Same way, we have from last topic, structure of atom, we discussed about all informations like what is spectrum, what is quantum numbers, what is electronic configuration, right? And what are the different configurations about different atom, right? Then let us come to this particular topic from that structure of atom topic. So we have in the 17th century, right? First, we have the recognition in 17th century about different elements. So in the time of a scientist, Robert Boyle, right? This name again will reappear in intermediate, right? Then he is the person, he know the almost 11 elements at his time, right? 11 elements were discovered at his time. Then he given a statement, if you take atom, it is the part of element or matter that is the simplest composition. That is the simplest composition. It never be further divided into any physical or chemical method. That statement is given by Robert Boyle. Right? Later, in the 18th century, right, almost 13 more elements were added, right? Means 13 plus 11 almost it can able to reduce to 24, right? So 24 elements up to the period of 18th century. Whereas come to 19th century, right? It is increased to almost 63 elements. In the time of up to the what we call the Newland's method, up to that we'll get in further class. So up to in 19th century we can able to get 30 elements were discovered. Then in 20th century almost 95 plus elements were discovered. So as the elements are discovered in different number of, already we have oxygen, nitrogen, either copper, gold, magnesium, whatever the knowledge we have from 9th class. So if we have these many number of elements, how to get a clarity of each and every element and how it is possible to remember, right? So this confusion is increased because the number of elements are increased or not. Then to avoid the confusion, scientists are started thinking about is there any possibility to separate the elements. For that we have 8th class knowledge. In 8th class we have a concept as metals and non-metals. So in the entire elements we can able to divide it into metals and one more is non-metals. So metals generally you have the knowledge as sodium, potassium, iron, magnesium, zinc, copper, and whatever you have the knowledge. And coming to non-metals, we have oxygen, sulfur, chlorine, fluorine, like that we have a list of elements. Then all elements having same properties or not. If it is there any similarities? Such type of thinking is started in 18th century, 19th century onwards, means 1801 to further onwards, we started thinking about the classification of elements. We are continuity about the classification classification of elements. Here, Antonio Lavoisier, already we are familiar about the person who invented oxygen, right? Then he given every element or atom is the building block of hydrogen, because in those days, right, the basic character of each and every atom is atomic mass. So atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So based on that, he compared each and every atom's mass, right? For that, he given a statement as each and every atom's building block atom is hydrogen, right? So that is the basic character of the classification of elements. Then coming to this classification of elements, the starting effort is done by Mr. Daubernier. He is the scientist from Germany, means he is the German scientist. Then he took the help of atomic mass of 3 elements. How many elements? Only he taken 3 elements, and the 3 elements he considered as the group. He considered as the group. Then that group he named as triad. What we call triad means 3 elements group he named as triad. Then what's the specialty of that particular group, or what's the specialty of that particular triad? Then we have to take a look. So whatever the 3 elements he choose, that 3 elements are having, so I am writing 3 elements, they are having similar chemical properties. Similar chemical properties. Then already we have the knowledge about Antonio Lavoisier. He introduced all atoms are building blocks by hydrogen atom based on the atomic weight. Same, he is also trying to give a relationship. What is that means? Atomic weight or atomic mass, how it is related to the properties of that particular elements. For that, whatever the 3 elements he taken, right? So first he taken a simple example, lithium, another one is sodium, and one more is potassium. So he selected only 3 elements. So as group, that we call as triad. Then he took the help of atomic mass, right? So if you take atomic mass of lithium is 7 and sodium is 23, and whereas come to potassium, this is 39. Already we are familiar from 9th class, right? Then if you take these all 3 elements, these are all metals. Moreover, they are having similar chemical properties. Then he tried to find a relationship, that is, if you take average value of first and third one, first means lithium, here third means potassium. So first and third element or last element average value is equals to middle element atomic mass. So if you take the average value of these two, simply we have to take 39 plus 7 by 2, average means by 2, 2 elements is there. Then we can able to get 46 by 2, that we call output as 23. So average value of first and last elements is equals to middle or not. Like that, he given a statement, right? When the arithmetic of all 3 elements is almost equal, right? They are able to show similar chemical properties. Or the chemical properties which are seen by 3 elements, they are having arithmetic mean, or the first and last elements arithmetic mean or average value is equals to middle element atomic weight. So that statement is given by Daubernier. So this is the first classification to avoid the confusion about whatever the elements is discovered by in those days. Almost he did that classification in 1829. This is 2020, means almost 200 years back, almost roughly. Means 200 years back he got a such type of thought about how it's possible to classify, right? So this is the greatest step in the concept of classification, right? Have you got the clarity? Take one more example, calcium, strontium, barium. Right? If you take a look about this, so calcium atomic weight is 40 and strontium is 87.5 and barium is 137. Right? Then just we have to verify because all three elements we call as triad. Moreover, these three elements having similar chemical properties. Then if you take first and last element, 40 plus 137 by 2, that is equal to 177 by 2. Then output is almost it is 86 and 86, 176 and okay, 88 and a half. Right? So here the average value of first and last elements atomic weight arithmetic mean is 88.5, but middle element one is only 87.5. So one unit is different, means one atomic mass unit is different, even though they are having same chemical properties or not. So like that sometimes we have little bit variation, always never be equal. So such type of consideration we take under the concept of drawbacks or limitation, right? So we have to take a look about the limitations of double net triads. We have to take an explanation about drawbacks and limitations of double net triad. If you take first drawback, right? So the main drawback is whatever the elements were discovered at the time of Daubernier, all the elements could not be arranged in same way like triads. That is the first drawback. Then all elements that I have written, all elements not possible to classify as triads. Classify as triads. Same thing, could not possible to classify as triads. Then second thing, if you take fluorine, chlorine, bromine, right, three elements, right, as triads, the arithmetic mean of fluorine and bromine is not equals to chlorine. It is having greater variation. The mean of these two and this, that you have to practice in practical, right, on the notes, and you have to get a clarity. We have the values, right? So the arithmetic mean of fluorine and bromine is may not be equal or not nearby value of chlorine, even though they are having similar chemical properties. And the third one, whatever the atomic weight is there, atomic weight or atomic mass is there, then when you got accurate measurements, right? So this method is not a correct one. So in the starting days means 200 years back, whatever the consideration is at the time it is correct. But now we have a different type of measuring units, right? So we can able to get accurate measurement, even though we can able to measure in micrograms also, right? So such type of accuracy measurements if you consider, right? So this classification is not correct. So these are the main three drawbacks or limitations of Mr. Daubernier in the classification of elements, right? Now we have to discuss about one more type of classification, that is by Newlands, right? Here Newlands, he started his classification in 1865. Again, it is on the basis of atomic mass or atomic weight, and he taken all elements in ascending order of atomic weight. Ascending order of atomic weights or atomic mass. So, in this ascending order, he considered 7 elements he considered as group. 7 elements he considered as group. Then, in this, whatever the time of Mr. Newlands in up to the year of 1865, almost he noticed 63 elements roughly. Then that all 63 elements he came able to arrange in the form of table form. So he is the first person who arranged all elements at that time, right? Arranged all elements in the form of table form. Then he given a statement, when we take the 7 elements in ascending order, means lowest atomic mass element to highest one, right? Increasing order, simply we call. Then what are the first element, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh? These all we should consider as a group. Then whatever the eighth element is there, the first element chemical properties and the eighth element chemical properties, he says that similar when you arrange in ascending order, right? So this comparison we call as law of octaves. Law of octaves. Octave means you already perfect, that is 8, right? So he compared first element with eighth element and second element with ninth element, third element with 10th element, fourth one with 11th element. Means every single atom's gap is having a fixed number of elements. Means always 1 and 8 means 8 elements, and second and ninth 8 elements. That comparison he taken, for that we call as law of Arcs. We have to take numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is one group. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, then he compared with this element to this element. Here hydrogen is there. Hydrogen element property is compared with fluorine. Like that chlorine. Means these all he considered as a group of elements. And this is also a group of elements. And here this is also one group of elements. Means these all elements is able to resemble or showing similar chemical properties. That is the assumption of Mr. Newland. Then here there is we have condition about, already we discussed, he arranged 56 elements in the form of table, right? Here written only few. Then coming to discussion, in some places, right, here if you take cobalt and nickel, right, in first, second, third, fourth column, right, here in fourth column we have two elements in particular place or slot. Then same like if you take selenium and lawrencium, like that, here two elements, here two. In some places arranged two elements, right? Then coming to here hydrogen is there, here fluorine is there, here chlorine is there, here cobalt is there. These three in non-metallic form, simply we call it gases, right? Hydrogen is gas, fluorine is gas, chlorine is gas. But whereas come to cobalt, that is not in a gaseous state, it is strong metal, right? How the properties of these three elements is similar or resemble similar properties with the cobalt. Such type of doubts are raised by a group of scientists and chemist journals, right? For such questions, Mr. Newland is not answered, but he simply given a small statement. Here I taken 7 elements as the group that I am comparing with the musical notes, right? Simply, he compared with the musical notes are do, re, mi, so, fa, lo, ti, right? These are the foreign or we call as what we call simply that we call as foreign tunes. How we have traditional tunes as sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, right? Like that we have foreign musical notes are like that, right? So he compared with that musical notes. How if you take sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, right? There are 7 notes. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, right? 7 notes are there. Again, the 8th note, means the 8th sound is again sa. Same like here atoms are able to show the chemical properties as similar, right? So like that he given a explanation about his particular classification of elements. But no one is agreed. Here he adjusted two elements in particular slot. Moreover, the comparison is not in a particular mathematical or a practical proof. Just compared with all properties with how the sound is similar in a particular musical notes, right? Then here the element properties are similar. Like that he given comparison. For that, no one is agreed with such type of this type of classification. Right? Shall we have to take one look about limitations? To take about drawbacks or limitations. The first thing is already we seen just before. Two elements is placed in a particular place in the tabular form, or two elements are fixed in a particular slot. So that is the main drawback. Two elements placed in a same slot. That is the first drawback. Then, if you take the condition, just before we seen hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, after that we have cobalt and nickel. Then that we call the dissimilar elements or dissimilar properties elements placed in same group. So first thing is, sometimes in some places or in some slot two elements is placed. That is the first drawback. Coming to second one, dissimilar properties elements are placed in a same group. Then coming to the third condition, it is very important. He given in tabular form of arrangement only for fixed of 56 elements, because we have 8 vertical ones and 7 are horizontal ones. 7 8s are 56. But it is in 1865. The classification is done in 1865. Then whatever the uninvented elements is there, right? Then where you have to place means not given any place for uninvented elements, right? So that is the no space for uninvented elements. He not left any space for uninvented elements. That is the third drawback. These all we should consider as drawbacks, even though this classification is not agreed by any one person. Right? We have to take the explanation about Mendeleev's model of periodic table. So this model periodic table means the model of a periodic table by Mendeleev is almost accurately which is we are using right now, right? So that is the specialty of Mendeleev. Then he given a systematic order of explanation about periodic table. Like he is also given all elements arranged in the tabular form. Then in that the specialty is he used the terms as one is groups and another one is we call as periods, that we have to discuss in just in further, right? Just we have to take, he used the first time the groups and periods term. Moreover, the entire designing of periodic table of a particular Mendeleev is in again increasing order of, simply we call as ascending order of atomic weights. Then, moreover, he observed different elements, how it is combining with oxygen. If you take like sodium, potassium, like and lithium, how these are reacting with the oxygen, right? So on reacting of either lithium or sodium or potassium, if you take lithium, it is able to form Li2O, simply we call as lithium oxide. If you take sodium reacting of oxygen, we can able to write as sodium oxide. Then here potassium with potassium oxide. These are the general formulas by these three elements. Then he considered as the general formula is R2O for these all elements on reacting with oxygen. Same like he taken one more example, that is calcium, and one more is beryllium and magnesium. Right? If you take reaction of calcium with oxygen, right, you can able to get CaO, and here BeO, beryllium oxide, and MgO, we are familiar with magnesium oxide. For the general formula is RO. Like that, a group of elements able to show a particular general form of oxide compounds. Here these elements with RO and these elements with here R2O, here RO. Like that he also found R2O3, like RO3. Like that he found in different elements. By that he is giving a particular classification that we have to take a look. From the observation of R2O general formula and RO general formula and R2O3 general formula and R2O5 general formula by different elements, Mr. Mendeleev observed that group of elements, either this particular group or this one or this one or this one, that a particular group of elements are having common valency. Already we have that word, right? In chemical bonding, at that time we can able to discuss about that, right? How an atom is combining with another atom, that we simply call as valency, right? That discussion we have in further classes. So he given the word as common valency. Moreover, from these all observations, Mr. Mendeleev is given a periodic law, right? In classification of elements, periodic law is important, right? So simply, the physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic functions of the atomic weights. Means he designed a total periodic table based on atomic weights or not. For that, he given a statement: the physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic functions of their atomic weights. So that is the periodic law of Mendeleev, right? Here we have to take the different features or extraordinary features of Mendeleev, right? That we have to take a look here. To salient features or extraordinary features of Mendeleev periodic table. The first one and important one is groups, already discussed. What are the vertical lines is there in the Mendeleev periodic table? Like so, simply groups are vertical columns, we call as groups. Again, each group is having sub-classification as A and B. If you take first group, it is having first A and first B. And if you take second one, it is having second A, second B. Like that, it is having every group is subdivided into two groups. Right? Then one more is periods. Here, periods means simply he given as horizontal rows. Horizontal rows he named as, what are the horizontal rows are there in the periodic table, that he named as periods. Then coming to this information, in his periodic table having 18 groups and having 7 periods. Same word we will repeat in the next periodic table, that is modern periodic table. Numbers is same, right? 18 groups are there and 7 periods are there. Then one more is we have the discussion about very simple one, right? That is about prediction of properties. So at the time of Mendeleev, right, still few elements are not discovered, means that element is not discovered, even though he tried to guess the properties of that particular elements. For that we have to take example now. For different elements, right, he named with the eka, that is addition word of each and every element. Here we have to take one example, that is eka aluminium. He named because at that time that element is not discovered. Later it is named as gallium, right? So he named as what? Eka aluminium. But later, based on the properties, scientists named as gallium. Then his predicted information about atomic weight of eka aluminium is 68. He guessed. But the gallium atomic weight is 69.72. Only 1 point something digit is varied. Then coming to density of eka aluminium is 5.9, but after means after the time of Mendeleev, the particular Eka aluminum is gallium density is 5.94. Then one more is a formula of oxide. Generally already we seen about, we got different general formulas like R2O, RO, R2O3, R2O5. Like that he given the formula of Eka aluminum oxide formula is EA2O3. Eka aluminum 2 with the oxide with 3. Later the general formula of particular gallium with oxide is Ga2O3. Gallium symbol is Ga and the general formula of that particular oxide means gallium reacted with oxygen. The output is Ga2O3. Then same like formula of chlorine, he guessed as EaCl3. Later it is found as GaCl3. Moreover, he given one more information that is about gallium. If you catch the gallium in your hand or if you catch the gallium, it started melting. That is the prediction, means guess of Mr. Mendeleev. Because the melting point of gallium is only 30.2 degrees Celsius, but body temperature is almost 37. Right? So that gallium is melting or not. Such type of prediction was done by this particular Mendeleev. Not only this Eka aluminum, he also taken Eka boron and Eka silicon. Eka boron laterally named as Eka boron, later it is named as scandium, and Eka silicon later it is named as germanium. Such type of predictions he did even though he not having a proper or standard measuring units or measuring devices. Okay, children. Now we have one more type, salient feature of Mendeleev is correction of atomic weights. So if you take atomic weight, it is having principle as equivalent weight, and it is multiplied with valency. So this one we can able to get in electrochemistry in intermediate first year. Just you have to remember that a word you have to keep in mind, that is equivalent weight. Then atomic weight is equal to product of equivalent weight and valency. For that we have to take one example. In the time of Mendeleev or before the time of Mendeleev, the atomic weight of beryllium they consider as 13.5 because they taken equivalent weight of beryllium is they consider as 4.5 and valency of beryllium they consider as 3. Valency of beryllium they consider as 3. Then 4.5 into 3, that is obviously 13.5. But he did correction. It is not a right value of beryllium. He showed the correction is the beryllium atomic weight is 9. For that he given solution as the equivalent of beryllium is 4.5 exactly, in that there is no doubt. But the valency of beryllium is not 3, it is only 2. Like that he shown the correction. So same thing we consider as correction of atomic weights, means different atoms which are not having a correct value before the time of Mendeleev. Then he started showing off small corrections. So this is one of the example how he shown correction to the atomic weights, right? Before his period, whatever the mistake was done. Okay, children. No type of salient feature of Mendeleev, that is anonymous series, means the entire designing of or entire classification of Mendeleev was done on the basis of increasing order of atomic weights. But in the condition of anonymous series, especially he taken one example. If you take tellurium, right? The tellurium atomic weight is 127.6, and this element is present before, means in front of iodine, that is having the atomic mass as 126.9. So here, what is anonymous series means? This is heavy atomic mass element because 127.6 is comparatively more value than 126.9. even though he placed the heavy atomic weight element before the place of lowest or less atomic weight atom. So this adjustment we called as anomalous series. It is inverse thinking about the designing the classification of periodic table by Mendeleev. But even though the place of tellurium is exactly coincide with remaining group of elements in their chemical properties, and the place of iodine is again coinciding the properties with their respective group of elements. Here that condition, that adjustment we consider as anomalous series. Even though this anomalous series inversion is accepted by all the scientists or all the chemists, because the properties are matching or not. So here iodine matching with group of elements, here tellurium is matching with their respective group of elements. For that, this adjustment we call as inversion of the periodic law. Even though this adjustment is successfully convinced by all the members. So that is the specialty of Mendeleev, to give extraordinary features as groups and periods and correction of atomic weights, and one more is prediction of elements, and last one is anomalous series. Even though these many extraordinary features came from the Mendeleev, in his model or in his periodic table, we can see the few drawbacks or limitations. For that, just we have to take a look about the drawbacks. Take the look about drawbacks and limitations of Mendeleev. The first drawback is this one, anomalous series. Coming to anomalous series, it is quite opposite to the periodic law. What is periodic law here? The Mendeleev periodic law is, it is the ascending or increasing order of atomic weights. That is the basic designing of periodic table. But in anomalous series, heavy atomic place element is placing it before the place of less atomic place. So that was we discussed. Iodine is 126.9, here 127.6. This is not increasing order, it is a decreasing order. So this exemption and this whatever the inversion proposition condition is there, this is the comes under drawbacks, right? So this is first one. Coming to second one, if you take already we discussed each group subdivided into A and B. If you take first A group, it is having elements as hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. That are the elements. If you take the first B elements, that is copper, silver and gold. These are we simply called alkali metals. They are having highly reaction with water or air and water vapor. They are rapidly reacting. Whereas come to these three elements, right? Then these elements are slowly reacting with air, water and water vapor. Moreover, these are called as alkali metals, highly reactive. These are we call as coinage metal, means making of coins. They are able to react with slowly with air, water. The properties are dissimilar or not? Quite rapid, quite slow. Means very fast, very slow. Not only this, if you take seventh A group, it is having fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. That are the elements, right? If you take the seventh B, in that we have manganese. So these all are non-metals. Already we taken in the starting condition of how the elements are metals, non-metals and metalloids, means semi-metals. Here 7th A group metals are completely non-metals. Whereas come to 7th B, that is having complete metallic nature. Means dissimilar atoms or dissimilar elements are placed in same group in as a two subgroups. So that is also one of the drawbacks. These two only drawbacks in Mendeleev's model of periodic table. Even though it is having more accuracy with the modern periodic table, only slight variations are there, right? then we have to take explanation about modern periodic table.